So I thought it would be fun to just go through a rundown of my favorite signs, and I ranked them all from most favorite to least favorite. And of course, don't take this too seriously. Like, of course, it's subjective. There's no best sign. I mean, each sign has its pros and cons and its strengths and weaknesses, and really all 12 signs, you need all 12 signs to really have the best of all worlds, I guess. Because if you say that one sign is better than another, you're just missing the aspects of both signs. So anyway, this isn't to say that any sign is better than any other sign. This is just purely subjective, purely just my opinion, just my experience, and I just thought it'd be fun to do. So number one is Aquarius. I don't have a lot of planets in Aquarius. I actually just have Saturn there, but it's just, they just seem like chill people, and they just seem kind of aloof and almost like not totally accessible, and I think for some reason that just like attracts me like to something that you can't totally have in a way, if that makes sense. I've only really had Aquariuses be close to me in my life a couple times, like a couple different Aquarius people, and so I think although I know it pretty well, there's also like some kind of mysteriousness or something. There's always like more with him, it seems like, and also I just think that I have a lot of Virgo and Gemini in my chart, and I think Aquarius is almost like a more mature, more stable version of Gemini and or Virgo in a way, just because Virgo and Gemini are more mutable, so they're kind of all over the place, and Aquarius is fixed, so it just seems like it's more, I don't know, like it's more composed, I guess, or something like that. And I just like that they're quirky and rebellious. Like, you have to kind of like that, I think, or appreciate that. And yeah, and they're always different. They're always interesting. So probably my favorite. I could argue that even though, like I said, there's no best sign, I could sort of argue that they are the best, just because they're the last Yang sign, and they're the second to last sign at all. So like Pisces is kind of like is the last sign, and Pisces is kind of like the fall of it all and the culmination, the undoing of it all. But right before that you have Aquarius. So Aquarius is like the culmination of it all, before the collapse in a way, or before the ending. It's like the final product, if you want to think about it that way. Yeah, they just seem mature or something like that. And also being the oldest Yang sign, they have the benefits of being maybe more outgoing or more extroverted, but also kind of wise in a way. So just probably my favorite sign. Number two is Sagittarius. So again, it's like the oldest fire sign, and there's so much they're so dynamic, there's so much going on there that really attracts me. I'm very mutable and they're mutable, so we can kind of click on that level, but I lack fire, and so that kind of draws me to them. Also, my South Node and my Descendant are in Sagittarius, so I just get them. Like, I just meet them all the time. I've known so many of them. I probably know them better than any other sign, even though I'm not Sagittarius, really. I don't have planets there. I just get them. And they're so, like I said, there's so much going on there. You could look at how they're the Centaur, so they're the only one that's like half human, half animal, so there's like the best of both worlds there. That makes them kind of like I like how they can be intellectual and talk in my language like that, and be analytical like I am, but then they also have this animalistic side to them, which is really fun. And I like how they're very logical but also very emotional. There's just so much going on with them that it's always interesting, and they just like to have a good time, and they're fun. So that rivals Aquarius for my favorite sign. Like, I almost want to put them first. Like, Sagittarius I'm more familiar with, but Aquarius I'm less familiar with, and either one kind of makes me more attracted to them. So depending on the day, I might say Sagittarius is my favorite. Number three is Cancer, so that kind of mixes it up a little bit. I just think they're hilarious. Like, I don't think other people really think of Cancer as being very funny. That's more of like a Sagittarius or Gemini thing. I just think they're super funny. Like they have a sense of humor that just like makes so much sense. It's just funny because it's true, and they can be sort of like cynical, but also cheerful and just optimistic and have a fun time, but also be cynical at the same time. And that's just attractive to me, I guess. And they just seem like it's easy to be around them, and like they care. And I want to say that they almost have this like common sense to them. This like, I know that they are the most emotional sign, and they can like get lost in these emotional tangents, which might not be the most logical. But I still think at the same time that they kind of have this like this sense of reason that's not, it's not like mine. Like I'm more Gemini and Virgo, so I'm more like thinking everything out. It's not that they're like logically figuring everything out. I think it's just this innate kind of emotional intuition, almost like they're an old person where they just kind of like know what makes sense and what doesn't, just by taking things at face value, not necessarily by figuring everything out. And so yeah, so they just make sense to me. And I don't have any planets there at all, but I know my sun moon midpoint is there, so I don't know if that's what attracts me to them. But I just probably Cancer along with Sagittarius is the easiest for me to be around, generally speaking, and it's the easiest for me to pick up a conversation with if I don't know them already. Number 4 is Taurus. And again, if I was going to argue, again, like there's no best sign, they're all equal and good. But if I was going to argue what the best sign was, I would either say Aquarius, for reasons I already said, or I'd say Taurus, because so Taurus is the first yin sign, so they're the most youthful of the introverted signs. So there's like some kind of strength there, and that actually completes a pattern where my first 2 favorite signs are the last 2 yang signs, and my next 2 favorite are the first yin signs. And I just think there's something complimentary about that, about having the wisest of the extroverts and then the most youthful of the introverted signs, or feminine, or whatever. There's just something very balanced about that. But Taurus, I could argue, is the best sign because they're Earth, so they're practical and responsible, but they are ruled by a benefic, unlike Virgo and Capricorn. So I just think that they're generally more fun than maybe Virgo or Capricorn. They have the best of both worlds, where they're both responsible and practical, but also they can have a good time, and they could be more social, I think, with that benefic ruling them. But they're just kind of like, I think they're just easy to be around, probably for everyone. They're very consistent, like what you see is what you get. So they're very simple, they're very like easy to understand. And yeah, so I think that's pretty straightforward. Number 5 is Capricorn, and I almost wanted to put that for number 4 just because, like, I guess Capricorn is probably closer to my heart than Taurus, just because, like, my mom has Capricorn moon, my dad has moon in 10th house, which is kind of similar. My brother's Capricorn, Andy has Capricorn rising. Person I've been in a relationship for 5 years is a first day Capricorn, so I just know them super well. Their Capricorn energy is like family to me. They just, they're easy to make fun of, I guess. Like, I might make fun of them a lot, but I like their qualities. I like that it's an underrated sign. It's one that it's probably not everybody's favorite, especially at first, but after a while you realize that like they're the ones that's going to be there for you no matter what, like, and even if it takes you a while to realize that, it's true. They're very dedicated, which is admirable. A lot more consistent than I am, a lot more dedicated and loyal than I am, probably. Just because they're so long-term focused, I guess. And they've got that deadpan humor, which could be super funny. So, yeah, they're just pretty lovable, and I like the fact that they're underrated. Number 6 would be Gemini, so that's more of what I am. I've got Gemini, Moon, Rising, and South Node, so that's probably the one sign that fits me more than any other sign. I like how scattered they are and how crazy they are. And I want to say, too, that really I like all 12 signs, so, like, I don't The ones toward the end, it's not because I dislike them necessarily, but yeah, Gemini scattered crazy. There are. I guess I just like the variety there. It's interesting, and there's always something new. Um, and yeah, I like that they can get lost analyzing things, which maybe don't even make sense, but they're kind of just interesting and funny, like maybe for that very reason. And yeah, pretty much just that. Number seven, I'd say Libra, because Libra is the sign that it took me the longest to really understand. To like, it was the last sign that really clicked with me, and I think the reason for that is because I thought I understood it better than I did at first. I think it's a sign that's also really underrated and actually super misunderstood, and it's so misunderstood that people think that they understand it better than they do. Gemini is kind of similar in that way too, I guess, but um, yeah, Libra is very complex and very nuanced, and that's I just like that so much just because I didn't notice that at first. That there's so much more there that you don't tend to notice right away. Like they can seem kind of simple or maybe artificial, but really they're not. There's a lot going on there, which I find interesting. So I like that they're complex and that there's more under the surface than you realize. They're probably more manipulative than Scorpio, I think, because you don't even really realize it when they're doing it. So that's just interesting to me. Um, Number eight is Virgo. I really like Virgo, but I also can really dislike Virgo. Virgo is my own sign, so I might be guilty of the things I complain about them being. But I like that, like, most Virgos I know are super warm and sincere and very caring, very just nice people, nice guys, nice girls. Um, People that are good listeners and stuff. So, like, super nice, super caring people, and you have to admire that. But there's another type of Virgo which is like very critical and annoying and gives their advice when it's not asked for, and has this air about them that like they seem like they know better than you, or like you have, or like they act like you need their opinion, or their whatever they're saying, even though you really don't. Like that can be like the most annoying thing to me. And so I understand why people are frustrated with Virgos a lot of the time. I know they mean well, but they can be just needlessly critical and give their opinion when it's not asked. So, like I said, I think most Virgos are so nice and so caring. And I do like that. But that the reason why they're not higher is just because of what I just said. So, and then now we're getting kind of lower in the list. I already did all the earth and air signs, so it kind of makes sense that I'm very earthy and airy, so it makes sense that I kind of naturally click with them more than some of the fire and water signs. Number nine is Leo. And to me, it kind of depends on what the placement is. I really like and admire Venus and Mars in Leo, especially Mars in Leo, because they're so dedicated and they are so passionate and so loyal. So I love Mars and Leo. Moon and Venus and Leo I really like and respect too. And Sun and Leo, I like them. I just haven't really like connected with them on a deep level for whatever reason. Um, it might be maybe I'm like not fun enough for them since I'm a Virgo. Virgo kind of clashes with Leo, I think. But it's a sign that I respect a lot. They have a lot of qualities which I don't have, but I admire in them. Um, Leo is also my only fire planet, so my Venus in Leo is kind of why I like Venus in Leo and Mars in Leo. Um, so yeah, I guess they're just not higher just because, like I said, I haven't really connected deeply with a lot of people with Leo placements. I have somewhat, but just not as much as the other signs, I guess. So number 10 is Pisces, so we're getting lower. I'm actually surprised I didn't put Aries before Pisces. Either way, well, actually, no, I know why I put Pisces first. Okay, so Pisces is number 10. I mean, so first I'll talk about the more negative sides of why it's so low, and then I'll talk about some of the better, what I like about it. So Pisces is like opposite Virgo and then square to Gemini, so it kind of clashes with my personality. And you could say the same about Sagittarius, but Sagittarius has my descendant and my North Node in it. So, um, and Pisces doesn't. So, and it's also the sign where Mercury is both in detriment and fall. And since I'm so ruled by Pisces, it's a really hard energy for me to click with or connect with. And especially when Mercury's transiting Pisces, or when there's really heavy Pisces transits, I just do not thrive at all. Like I get sick a lot for whatever reason. I like Pisces theoretically. I like the idea of, getting lost in different worlds and being maybe sort of connected to everything and yet kind of detached. Like I really like and value the themes behind Pisces and what it represents theoretically, but experiencing Pisces transits are the worst for me. I do so badly for whatever reason. And also Pisces people, just especially when I first got into astrology, I just didn't like them at all. And then as I learned more about Pisces and became a little bit more whole in myself, I could connect a lot better with Pisces. But still, I don't think I've had any Pisces suns that I was super close to. Pisces moons, on the other hand, I connect with super well. And I don't know, I think that's probably because of my 12th house moon. But yeah, I really appreciate and click with Pisces moons, like almost maybe more than any other moon sign. Um, but yeah, that Pisces moon is one of my favorites. But when it comes to Pisces sun or Pisces transits, it's not that I dislike it. It just doesn't like flow well with me. Like, especially because when I first got into astrology, there was multiple Pisces which I just felt like didn't like me or misunderstood me or something. Maybe I was misunderstanding them. I don't know. 11 is Aries, so I love that Aries is so impulsive and so direct. Like, that can be really fun and really easy. They're really accessible. Um, yeah, they just make things interesting and more fun and more exciting. And I probably shouldn't say that. um, they're just I really like that about them, and I'm not that way, so I think I can appreciate that because it's something I sort of lack, that I can kind of overthink things and they just do things without thinking, which is a lot more fun and exciting and stuff. So I like that about them, admire that about them. But then on the other hand, there's I think we just don't click very well because, again, I'm Virgo and Virgo is quincunx Aries, so we just don't totally understand each other. I think that the way I talk, they think that I'm down or that I'm criticizing or that I'm like negative in general. When I don't feel like I'm being negative, I feel like I'm just being observant or being like neutral. So, maybe they're just more fun and more energetic. And that's another thing too. They're way more energetic than I am. I'm more like low key and stuff. So I think we just don't. A lot of times there could be like a sort of opposites attract thing between me and Aries, but it's usually temporary. I haven't had Aries dominant people close to me in my life. I think that's probably the main, what it comes down to for me, is just whether I've had a lot of people with these placements close to me. And that leads me to my least favorite, which I feel bad because I like all the signs. I really do. But Scorpio is my least favorite, and I thought about it. I think the main reason for this is just because I don't think I've had a single Scorpio dominant person in my life be very close to me. Like, I haven't, just for whatever reason, I just haven't, I don't meet a lot of Scorpios. None of my best friends or family have had Scorpio moon or sun. I have been close with people with Scorpio rising, like a few of those actually, and so I understand that better. Um, I've actually been very close to people with Scorpio rising, and that's something that I can like and appreciate. Um, but yeah, it's probably the sign I know the least about too, and so it's a sign that I would like to know more about. I know a lot about it theoretically, and the themes and what it represents and everything, and I know, from Scorpio transits what the energy feels like. I like Scorpio transits, and I love Mercury in Scorpio. That's probably my favorite Mercury placement. And theoretically, I really like how they combine emotion with logic. Like they're very emotional, probably more than mental, but they're in a state of like hyper vigilance, I think. So they just notice things, and their intuition is kind of crazy and stuff like that. So it's a sign that I like, but I just don't know it that well, I guess. So yeah, so unfortunately they're last. But anyway, I just thought this would be fun to do. So I don't know if that's interesting, but I'll just put it out there. And as always, if you have any suggestions you'd like me to do, anything you want to hear my thoughts about, please let me know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.